On air. Okay.
We're recording.
We're recording. Success. Oh, I didn't do a welcome message. What's the channel going to be called? Welcome everyone to the Pixie Commerce YouTube channel. We're here today to talk to you about Hyvä and why it's become Pixie Commerce's default theme for all front-end builds. So it's safe to say that Hyvä is absolutely becoming the go-to front-end technology for Magento and Adobe Commerce, and rightly so. Here at Pixie Commerce we are super proud to be a Hyvä partner agency, and since 2023 every new build project that we undertake, like I said, is built with Hyvä by default. But why is that? And that's what myself and Tom Dollar, our managing director here at Pixie Commerce, are going to get into today. But first of all, before we get into that, Tom, I think it'd be great if you could just give us a little bit of an intro about you and Pixie Commerce as well.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Hi, everyone. As Rebecca said, I'm Tom Dollar. I'm the co-founder and MD at Pixie Commerce. I've been working with the Magento platform since 2010, 2011. I just fell in love with it as a platform and kind of dedicated my career to it ever since. I've managed to attain 5 certifications in it because I'm insane, and it's what we do at e-commerce kind of day in, day out. We really started the company to be that agency that just specialises in one platform and one platform only. And that's what we did. 2018 we became a Magento partner agency, and of course latterly an Adobe partner agency. Very recently really proud to become a Hyvä partner agency.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows just how passionate about Magento the whole of the Pixie Commerce team are. And I know that obviously you're so fondly known as Magentom in our workspace whenever anything goes wrong. So yeah, it is brilliant that we've got so much passion here. So that's a little bit about Pixie Commerce. For obviously getting into Hyvä or Hyvä or however you want to pronounce it. I know in English we always want to say Hyvä because it's pronounced Hyva with a little hat on. But the official pronunciation is Hyvä. So you might catch us going back and forth between the two. It's fondly known as either. So there might be people watching that obviously don't know anything about Hyvä or what it is. Or why it's taken the Magento space by storm. So I think a good place to start might be right at the very beginning and go back to way before Hyvä and, you know, the themes that stood so Hyvä could run, so to speak. So just to set the scene a little bit more, what other Magento themes are there and how was front-end development previously done prior to Hyvä coming about?
Sure. So I think it's worth remembering that Magento 2 was first announced all the way back in 2010. It wasn't actually released until 2015. That's a whole podcast all of its own. But when it was released, it had a default theme called Luma, which is kind of based on the founding principles of what Magento 2 was envisaged to be from a theme perspective. So it was built on a backbone of Require.js, jQuery, less CSS and various other kind of libraries, which seemed like a great idea, I'm sure, at the time when they were envisaging Magento 2. But even when it was released, they were not the features of choice, shall we say. And obviously that is nearly 10 years ago now. So I think where Magento and Adobe have, I don't want to say failed, but they haven't really kind of kept up in terms of that technology stack, which has left the door wide open for projects like Hyvä to come in and show the community how it can be done better. To answer your question about what other kind of options there is of course the PWA Studio, which is from Adobe themselves, which means that you can build PWAs from your Adobe Commerce or Magento open source site. And there are various
PWAs being progressive web apps.
That's right. Yeah, and there are various other kind of smaller projects out there that are really looking to kind of remove that aging technology stack from the front end and to do things like, you know, headless and what have you. But the difference with Hyvä is that firstly, it's the best of all worlds. So you get the performance benefits like a PWA because it's so stripped back. It's using ultra modern technology. And it means that you can build and deliver sites really, really quickly. And probably almost as importantly, the community is really latched onto it. So all of the big module developers, ourselves included, are making Hyvä compatible versions of their modules, which is a problem you have on any of the other alternatives, that you have to say, okay, well, this technology looks great, but naturally I'm going to need these third-party extensions. Are they compatible, or is there going to be even more development time to try and bring them up to scratch? Hyvä has really kind of taken over the market, and pretty much everyone's on board.
Yeah, and I think it is going from strength to strength. And it's a clear sign that this was clearly needed within the community and within the space. Obviously, I know that like ourselves, we've got a few clients on other themes that, like you say, don't have that compatibility edge, and aren't working towards it. They just kind of release a theme and like let it go, kind of thing into the ether, and they really struggle anytime we have to do any work for them with compatibility. And obviously, that is something that Hyvä are really working towards getting rid of, and the whole community is just coming behind it, which is just amazing to see. My next question was going to be, what is Hyvä? But we've already quite nicely segued straight into that, which is really nice. Yeah, so in terms of Pixie Commerce and how we work, obviously we have committed that, you know, all the new build projects that we do are going to be Hyvä, and we've seen the benefit of that with the projects that we've got released and in build as well. So it's just so much nicer to work with, both as an admin user, a non-developer user. It's so much nicer on the front end, and it really sets home how important things like performance are, and making sure your images are optimized, and everything that you do and every change that you make is properly thought about. It's not just throwing different modules on and throwing images up and just doing random things without really fully thinking about it. So yeah, I think it's really helping to bring that focus back to say, you know, Magento can actually perform amazingly as long as you treat it in that way, treat it amazingly. But the benefits that you can get from it are just outstanding. So as director and developer, obviously, two-edged sword, why is this something that we have committed to delivering?
So, I mean, last year we always had Hyvä as a kind of option on any quote we did for a new build, and obviously we were kind of championing it because, you know, we could see the benefits. We could see the benefits that our clients who are on Hyvä were getting instantly the day they were launched. But it kind of got to a point where we were like, well, this shouldn't be optional. We know the benefits. There's no reason not to be building every new theme in Hyvä, and that's exactly what we've committed to do. So with each new project that we undertake, it will automatically be done in Hyvä, unless the client has a very specific reason to not want to do so. But I'd love to hear what those use cases are, because Hyvä is definitely the way to go.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a foundation at the end of the day. You can build anything from it. It's not restrictive in that way, which is another reason why it's become, I think, so popular in the community. I mean, I have ran out of questions. I know that we've only covered the surface really, and we've got plenty of information on our site that you can dig into about Hyvä and its benefits and case studies, etc. Our new site, pixiecommerce.co.uk, is actually built on Hyvä. It's beautiful, if we do say so ourselves. And it has Hyvä checkout as well. That's right, isn't it? Built in.
Very cool. Yeah, it's so quick.
Yeah, it is lightning fast, and it's really nice. So yeah, definitely go and check that out if you're wanting to just have a play with the Hyvä site in the real world. But there are plenty out there, like I say, and yeah, I think onwards and upwards from here. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, so a big part of our kind of rebrand and re-theme to Magento Commerce, and as you mentioned, building it on Hyvä's site, was to really kind of demonstrate the power of Hyvä, but also because of our own ambitions to be launching lots of modules a bit later this year, specifically for Hyvä users and Hyvä theme owners, around how we can improve performance even further, because Hyvä is absolutely wonderful. We completely champion it. But in a lot of respects, it's a skin-deep technology. It's just making your pages render much, much better. Some of the underlying bottlenecks that you still find in a large catalogue on Magento can still be prevalent, but we have some really exciting stuff coming down the track that can make big inroads into making things virtually instant, and we can't wait to share that with you in due course.
Yeah, so stay tuned. All coming soon, which is exciting stuff. But yeah, that's all from me. Thank you so much for being here, and we hope you've enjoyed watching this very short, quick overview into Hyvä for Pixie Commerce and why we're using it. But yeah, hopefully you'll have enjoyed this little short intro, and there'll be much more to come. Please do go ahead and subscribe. Let us know what you think of Hyvä in the comments. We are all ears, or all eyes and ears. So if you're ready to turbocharge your store with Hyvä, we are absolutely here for it. And for any Adobe Commerce and Magento advice that you'd like for your next project or an existing project, our team is absolutely here and willing, and will be ready to take on your next e-commerce challenge. So yes, please do get in touch.
Thank you very much, and see you again soon.